name it pretty much like Yahawashi, you know what I mean? Or remember Yahawashi, you know, and the importance behind that is that we not just out here just to wake up the elect. Because if it was about that, then brothers could just come out here, and I done seen it with my own eyes. People come out, they come to camp, they'll read out the Bible, and they'll say they waking up the elect, but it's more that's required than just, are we just doing this to wake up the elect? That's not what it's all about. It's not just about that. That does play a part in it, but it's not just about that. It's not just about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, because you got guys that act like they keeping the law, statutes, commandments, but they don't have no faith in Yahawashi. So what is this about? Well, we supposed to be striving our best to be like Yahawashi, which was the Lamb unblemished, which was the perfect example of what to be like and what to do. Not just waking up the elect, not just keeping the law, statutes, commandments, but you also have to have faith in Yahawashi and try to walk in the ways that he walked in. Let me get a precept about that, right? So brothers got to remember Yahawashi, and everything you do, you got to remember Yahawashi, man. You can't just say, well, I'm a part of this camp and I'm doing the work, so I could treat everybody else like shit and be in sin and not keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Then on the other hand, you can't say, well, I'm just going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of my abilities, but you ain't got faith in Yahawashi. See, you can't have one without the other. This is 1 John chapter 2. I like pulling this precept a lot, right? Because it gets straight to the point. Forgive me for my shoes and all that stuff. I'm running through some stuff right now that I had to get done, some personal stuff. 1 John chapter 2, right? And it says, verse 3, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that say, I know him, and keep not his commandments is a liar. The truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the Lord, the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that say he abide in him ought himself also to walk even as he walked. So even with Yahawashi, you're supposed to be trying your best to walk in the ways that he was walking, right? So if you see a brother, this is what you have going on with a lot of these camps and them being split up into so many groups is pride. Because some of them is doing it for money, right? But a lot of them is forgetting about Yahawashi. You see what I'm saying? So if you're not a part of my group, I'm going to treat you like you're not even a brother. I might not even keep the law, statutes, and commandments when it comes to you, because some groups say that. Like, you can commit adultery on a man if he's not in the truth. Like, you can take his wife got to leave him and come be with you if he's not in the truth. Well, that's still adultery. What will Yahawashi say? See, in everything I do when I got to make a decision, especially a tough decision, I always consider how the Lord will feel about it. And what will Yahawashi do in this position? How would the Father feel about what I'm about to do? You see what I'm saying? Now, you personally, you may be following a camp leader and following a man, but they all come up short compared to Yahawashi. They all come up short compared to Yahawashi. So a lot of brothers come into truth and they focus goes towards man worshiping a leader or following what he tells them to do, but they don't consider what Yahawashi will do or will want them to do. So this brother, the Lord not, and I always like to say this, the Lord ain't going to test you and make it easy for you. Oh, let's see if he keeps the law, statutes, and commandments. Y'all got to read the book of Job. Let's see if he keeps the law, statutes, and commandments when it comes to his fellow camp members and his fellow congregation members. That's easy. Of course you are. No, the Lord going to test you. He's going to send somebody that's not a part of your camp. And then see if you show the same love to those brothers, which a lot of brothers failed at. Just like when IUIC came here to Springfield, you know, the Lord put the Spirit on us to put our garments on and go up there and greet them as brothers. So he could test them and see how they would treat Israelites outside of your camp. See, this is not a camp thing. This is about the children of Israel, man. That's what it's about. And it's not just the elect thing, because it's not just, oh, I get to keep the law, statutes, commandments with who I think the elect is. No, you got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments with all of Israel to the best of your ability, man. That's what it's about. So we got to keep that in our mind, that we have to follow the Lord. more than you follow a man. You look at certain man for inspiration, but you still gotta follow the Lord, right? This is Revelations 13, because I got some ears. Revelations 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth in captivity should go into captivity. So that's what we're seeing right now is the downfall of America. They still trying to figure out ways to keep it up, but America's over with, man. And then World War III is right around the corner. So he that letteth in captivity should go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So we have patience that that's going to happen, right? But that's for our enemies. But we got love for our brothers. I always like to bring out that precept whenever we get Edomites that come around, because I want to get straight to the point. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be able to use your sword like that. But back on topic, let me see. Psalms 40. Right? And start at verse 7. Then said, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. You can't just pick and choose what parts of the Bible you want to follow, right? You can't say, well, the law says that we can have multiple wives, but we don't want to follow that part, right? So we're going to teach against that part because of money. You know, you got to follow the whole thing, man. Because a lot of people will try to switch up the truth because of the wife they got, or the friends, or their family. So they try to switch it up a little bit so they don't offend nobody. But if the truth offend those people, then maybe they just not ready for the truth at that point in time. The truth's supposed to offend you. It's supposed to correct you. It's supposed to chastise you. But a lot of people try to get around that chastisement, right? So if Edomites are enemies and they're going to be destroyed, but they got an Edomite wife, they'll preach that all nations can be saved. So now you see where these strange doctrines come from. If they got a congregation with women that pay a lot of money, they'll teach that men can't have multiple wives because they know that that's going to chastise the woman, so they could, in order for them to still get their money. If they want to put fear into their congregation, they'll teach that the hell doctrine, to put fear in their congregation to pay the money. Because if not, then you might go to hell. You see what I'm saying? And then if they don't want to deal with other camps because they don't want to, or other brothers outside what they got going on, because they don't want to be exposed for not having everything 100% true, then they'll say that they ain't for unity of the people when the Lord was for unity of our people coming together. Right? And ultimately that's what the Lord is going to do. So if we rehearsing the righteous acts and this is a shadow of things to come, you know, or they'll say like they don't want to defend the truth, or you know, they come up with different reasons why to do certain things, right? Now verse 8, I delight to do thy will, O my God, yet the law is within my heart, right? I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips. O Lord, thou knowest. So you teaching the full truth and nothing but the truth. You're not refraining your lips. You're not holding back on some things. You see what I'm saying? For certain reasons. It says, I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. You're not hiding the righteousness of the Lord, and you're not offended by it. You know, so you're not trying to change the truth of the Lord. It talks about that in Romans 1. Who changed the truth of the Lord to the lie? Right? It says, I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I have declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation. Right? Withhold not thy tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me, because the truth is all that preserves you. Let's go to Romans 1. The truth is what preserves us, right? So it's not so much about following man that want power, right? The Lord said that those that's greatest of you should be the least of you. You know, not following men that want power. You got to follow the Lord. It says in Jeremiah, I believe, 17, trust not, make flesh not your arm, or make man not your arm, meaning make man not your power, but the Lord. Right? This is Romans 1. Let's see. Straight to the point. Verse 21, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God. Neither were they thankful, but became vain in their own imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made into a corruptible man. And a lot of guys do this, but they're not going to say it. So instead of worshiping the Lord, they change. They leader of their group, he becomes their Lord, a corruptible man. So the incorruptible God, they change his image to the corruptible man. I've just seen guys have Passovers where they sit up there and they talk about their leader, and they don't even mention Yahawashi one time. The Passover go hours without them mentioning Yahawashi, but they'll mention their leader and talk about how great their leader is and how their leader got to where he got and why they follow him. Right? It says, and to the birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things, wherefore God also gave them up to their uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. You see that happen. You see a lot of guys that have changed the truth of God into a lie. They'll worship the creature, meaning the creature could be anything that's created, like a man, a woman. They'll worship their wife. You hear a lot of brothers every time you talk to them, every other sentence is, well, my girl said this, or my girl did this, or my girl did that, or I can't do this because of my girl, or I can't show up because of my girl, I can't come, my girl, or you say, can you do, man, I gotta ask my girl, I gotta go talk to my girl. They start worshiping their girl. And then you see a lot of brothers in the truth, they'll say, man can't have multiple wives because that's crazy because their girl is against it. And then you see female that come into this truth, they go run to the camps that don't allow mans to have multiple wives, because they just can't be a part of the camp if they allow the man to have multiple wives, because that's just something they can't do. You see what I'm saying? So you see a lot of men cater to what it talks about this in the Apocrypha and Esdras. Which one's more powerful, the king, money, or woman? But at the end, it was found out that the Lord and the truth of the Lord is what's more important and more powerful, because some men worship the money. And you see that with a lot of the group leaders. They change their doctrine based on the money, or they'll leave a camp where they were saying this was the #1 camp and this was the truth that they've been at for decades, and then right after that they start a new camp and get back to collecting money and stuff like that. So you see that, well, if you left this camp, why not just go out there and teach on your own? Or why not join back up with those brothers? But they start a new camp with a new branding because it's about the money. So some brothers worship money, some brothers worship woman, and then some brothers worship the king, which can be like a leader of your camp. It could be the president, where I'm voting for this guy. You set him up as a king, even though he don't even have no real power, right? But they have to worship something rather than the Lord. Right? Let me pull this next precept, what the Lord said. Matthew 24, KJV. Let's see. This is Matthew 24. I'm going to start at verse 5. For many should come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and should deceive many. Right? And sometimes you don't literally have to say it. You can act that way. You can act like you're the top guy in the top seat. I'm the #1 man on earth. Right? That's basically you saying that you anointed. That's basically saying that you are Christ. So you got to be careful with how you act. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled. So right now we in these times, this time about the end times, we're hearing about wars with Ukraine. We're hearing about rumors of war with China coming, with North Korea. We're hearing about wars with Iran and Israel. We're hearing about wars with Palestine. It says, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. I think the stock market damn near just crashed a couple days ago. So we're seeing nation versus nation, kingdom versus kingdom, famines, pestilences, earthquakes, and diverse places. We're seeing all those things. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name. You're not going to be loved for following the Lord. You're going to be hated for following the Lord. Your Christian church or Catholic church, that's not the truth. You know, you supposed to be hated. The world's gonna hate you for following the Lord like they hated him. They're not gonna be praising the Pope and falling at your feet, kissing your feet. They gonna say, man, that stuff that you're teaching, I don't like that. You saying that what happened to the so-called blacks in America is gonna happen back to the whites? That don't make me feel good. I don't like, you're gonna be hated for those things, man. And then even when you come amongst us in the truth, you're still gonna be hated. When you come out here to tell brothers, hey, we not doing that, man, worship. You want to worship your leader. All the leaders say the same thing. I'm the leader. I'm the top guy. I got all the truth. You got to get with me because the Lord set up man on earth, and he set up a council on earth, and you got to go get with them in order to get the truth. They all say the thing. They all say the same thing, man. And the other guys is going off, you know, they going to wake up and smell the coffee one day and join, or teach what we teach. Or if you go against us in any type of way, you going off and the Lord going to, they all say the same thing. So when you tell them, hey, we don't worship man. We worship these words that's in this book, the Lord. He is the word. That's what we worship. That's what we go off of. If your leader told you not to show love, because that's a commandment, show love to one another. I'll roughly paraphrase, and hate not thy brother, have no hate in thy heart towards thy brother, right? If that man tells you, hey, this Israelite that's not a part of your camp, hey, you can take his wife because he's not in the truth. And if we show you now, hey, that's adultery, brother. Who you gonna follow? You gonna follow the man or you gonna follow the Bible? So then brothers will start hating you because of that. Well, he don't follow my leader, so he ain't my brother. Hey, he just out there. And then they excuse for not having to keep the law, statutes, commandments when it comes to you, just say, oh, you a bug out. You a scoffer. You not in the truth. The Lord gonna destroy you, so I ain't got to deal with you. The Lord said we do got to deal with each other. That's what the law, statutes, commandments is about. So even in this truth, brothers start hating you like, man, he don't follow my leader. Who do he think he is that he could go out and just teach without having to come through us and do it? They start hating you, man. So what you think gonna happen when all hell break loose? You gonna have camps and leaders and members warring with each other like Bloods and Crips and giving each other up, man, and betraying one another, right? It says, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another based off doctrine. I'm offended because y'all getting all the money and we ain't getting none of the money. So we gonna fight against y'all, and that's what's gonna happen. We've been through this, right? And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall bound, the love of many shall wax cold. So that's what you're seeing. Ain't no more love. You know, it's basically all hate and cold shoulder. If you ain't with us, fuck you. If you ain't with us, we ain't dealing with you. We don't even want to talk to you if you ain't got this shirt on or our branding on. That's what you see happening, man. Right? But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So you gotta endure to the end of this thing if you want salvation, if you want to be saved, man. You got to endure through the hatred. You got to be endured to being cast out, right? This is what happened with the Lord, man. Man, the Lord had followers, but there was big, huge groups during that time, man. The Lord didn't go join their groups. He came with the truth, man, and a lot of them, well, what did he get crucified for? You know? He died for our sins and for the nation of Israel, but they said that they were mad because they said that he was calling himself the King of the Jews. And they were mad because of the teachings and the truth that he was coming with. They didn't like it, man. Because it was hurting a lot of their bottom lines, hurting their pockets, hurting their money, hurting their donations. He was converting people to the truth that was following him, which was taken away from these different groups, man. Taking the shine off them. They was jealous over them. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto the nations, and then shall the end come. So right now, one of our jobs is teaching the truth, and it's being preached throughout the world as a witness. But not just a witness to just outsiders. It's a witness to the nation of Israel. Wake up, brother, you heard this truth. And even us that's in the truth. Hey, wake up, brother, hey, this brother explained this and broke this down to you, man. Hey, you should probably consider it. Because it might have some truth in it. You know? When we go to, like, just silly things. Like, let me bring a couple examples. When we go to, can the bishop have more than one wife? Hey, Aki, don't say that he only can have one wife. It says a man of one wife. that could mean at least one wife. And then we say, look, Isaiah 8 and 20, it says, if they speak not according to this word, there's no life in them. So if you say that this precept, this precept where Bishop can have one wife, if you say he only can have one wife, we have to find that in the law. We don't find that in the law, so it can't be saying that. You must be wrong with it. You try to correct brothers, but then they don't want to hear it. Can auntie gets with a nephew? Hey, that might be off, because it's off because uncle can't get with a niece because a nephew can't get with his auntie because it's his mom's sister or his dad's sister. But the real reason, because it's near kinsman. That's what it say. So it's still near kinsman when you get to an uncle getting with. You try to explain these things, man. Hey, it don't say that you have to have a YouTube channel. Hey, we doing the work. We put up YouTube videos. Hey, man, them guys ain't on YouTube. Hey, that's your personal feelings, You don't say you have to have YouTube. Hey, these guys are talking about updating their filming, and they gotta. This is going off. This ain't about how good your filming is. But then you turn around and be a hypocrite because you make it about YouTube. Hey, we see that you spread the truth doing YouTube. That's great, but that's not a requirement. They hate that. If you tell, hey, is it required for you to be on YouTube to get salvation? They gonna sit there and look stupid. They gonna say no, but then they gonna give you all this extra stuff. But the Lord created YouTube, so you should be on. Hey, simple yes or no. Is it a requirement for you to be on YouTube to get salvation? Is it a requirement? Is being on YouTube considered doing the work? Show me that in the Bible. See, they hate those things when you come with just the straight truth, because they following traditions of man. And if you don't follow it, that they end up hating you. Just a couple of examples. Hey, I can't go out with my brother and we hold a camp together. Hey, I can't go out with my brother. I might not be a teacher. I might just be holding the sign or something, or holding the camera. Nah, you can't do that because he's a part of this group. Hey, where does it say that in the Bible? Well, could two walk together or something, they agree? Okay, we agree. I'm not even going to speak. I'm just going to go out there with him. And he going to do all the teaching. Well, no, you can't do that. That's traditions of man. And that's why we still in captivity. He still got the curse on us, man. And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto the nations, and then the end should come. Let's pull another precept. What's that Psalms 149? Hey, can you get hairlines? Well, show me in the Bible where it says you can't get hairlines. Leviticus 19. It don't say anything about you can't get a hairline. It's from my research. If you do the research, it's a reason why that law was given. Because the nations were having this custom where they cut their hair like a bowl-like appearance to worship a false god. And it wasn't a hairline. It was really more like a ball fade. But they cut. That's why it says don't cut the corners, because this is your corner right here, and this is your corner. They were shaving this off like a circle. It don't say nothing about no hairline. It don't say nothing about the temple hairline. It don't say nothing about that. But when you come to them and you tell them that, they say, oh no, this is the way that we learned it from our. Oh, you following man? You ain't following the Lord, man. Because I was following man too at one point in time, but I had to go and research some of these things like the Church of Berea myself. And I said, hey, look, that don't say that there. That don't say that there. But it's hard to get brothers to see it because they still work. But this man that I looked up to said it, and the Lord set him up, so he got to be given the correct understanding. And I'm just going to go with what he said because I believe he's a man of the Lord, rather than the Bible. They've been doing this forever, man. They did this during the time of the Lord, man. Even with some of the apostles, man. You see examples where they were wrong on things, but man, I follow it just because. Matter of fact, when the Lord came on the scene, you had many apostles. Well, not many apostles, but you had many leaders during that time, and they were going out, and people were following them just because they thought that they were men of the Lord, and the Lord was coming off and rebuking them. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. They try to get on about the Sabbath day. You're wrong. You're wrong. Flipping over tables, man, because they was in there getting money, but they didn't teach the truth at the same time, but they was getting money. You see that today, man. If the Lord came back today, he's going to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, the Lord coming back with something called the second death that's going to be by fire and brimstone. So he is going to do the same thing, even in a bigger way, though. This is the last one. This is Psalms 149, verse 1. Praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord a new song. And in his praise in the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. That's our king, man. You got a king, then another king, then another king over you, then another king. But sometimes you want to follow this king, this earthly king more than it's crazy. Let them praise his name in the dance, and let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harper. No, let me praise my leader, my camp leader, and let me sing songs to him, how great he is. And y'all going off, man. It's easy to do that, and it's easy to fall in that. But that's what got us in sin as a people in the first place, man. Setting up kings over us, first with King Saul, and then following those kings into a ditch, which has been going on with Israel forever, man. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He would beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praise of God be in their mouth, and two-edged sword in their hand. Not the high praise of this person, that person, and this guy, your leader of your camp, and your area leader of the whole area, and then over him the leader, the second in charge, the third in charge leader, the second in charge leader, the first. Hey man, all praises. What does all mean? All praises goes to Yahawashi, Yahawashi. All of them. You see what I'm saying? Just keep doing the work, man. But guys want to get in positions, you know. That shit snapped out of me real quick. That whole wanting to get in a position. I gave that shit, man. I don't want to be a part of that shit. Anybody could go and try to get a part of the camp. All you gotta do is just do what they say, and for a point of time, and then they gonna let you part of the camp. Don't nobody want to do that, man. Verse 7: to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with the feather. Those are our enemies, not each other, man. We gotta get out of that mentality of competing with each other. We supposed to come together and compete against them. In Saudi Arabia, you got different families. You got the royal family of Saudi. You got the royal family of Dubai. You got the royal family of Qatar. You got different families and stuff like that, and different power structures, but they all unite together as just Ishmaelites. But today they would say Muslims or Arabs, Arabians. So yeah, you're gonna have different groups, but we still have to be united in this fight together. Not sitting back just banging on each other. Okay, y'all teach something slightly different than us. We teach this, but we all going out there teaching, trying to get the work done. But we not. The problem is when you see all the infighting. Hey, they teach what they teach. Let the Lord deal with them. We teach what we teach. Hey, we gonna see the Lord going to take it from there. We gonna see what's gonna happen. If they going off, the Lord gonna destroy them. We ain't gotta get on the internet and get the beefing with them and rebuking them on the internet. Rebuke them in person. If you can't, then that means it ain't your place. We ain't gotta get on the internet and start bashing them and tearing them down. They wicked, they gonna die, they gonna be destroyed. We ain't gotta do all that, man. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with feathers of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all the saints. Praise ye the Lord. And that's what it's about, man. The Lord gonna come get us, and then he gonna destroy our enemies, and we gonna be united together in destroying our enemies. Now, just like the military, is there different offices? Yeah, we might have an air force of Israelites, we might have a ground troops of Israelites, we might have some Israelites in the water that's going out and finding Esau that's hiding in the bunkers in the water. We might have a group of Israelites tasked with that, because we gonna put chains of feathers, we gonna put them in captivity. You gonna have some Israelites in the air, you gonna have Israelites on the ground going through caves, finding where Esau hiding at, and we gonna have ground forces, space forces, air forces, we gonna have water, naval forces, we gonna have defensive office, we gonna have all that too, but we all working together for the greater good for one purpose. We ain't gonna be in the kingdom banging on each other, hating each other. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just because he going off, don't let that make you go off in sin. Now I'm showing hatred towards my brother. Now I'm in sin just because he's in sin. Now y'all both in sin. You keep the same story and let the Lord deal with it. See, you gotta put your trust in the Lord. That's why I said this is about Yahawashi. Hey, I'ma still show love to him. You know, but he going off, the Lord gonna get him. But two wrongs don't make a right. But I'ma still follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. I'ma take the lower end. And if he going off, he gonna let the Lord get him. remember Yahawashi in all your works, man. With that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Kakadash. Shalom.